Hello? Are you enjoying the show so far? You've seen 2 acts so far, that's good, yeah? Brilliant, okay, we've already done how many freshers are there, and there's quite a lot in here. Any of you English students? Yes, I'm an English student. I'll tell you something you might not be aware about the English department here at Exeter. It is the only department in the university that actually penalises you for learning, right? I genuinely lost marks in an essay last year because, it's silly actually when I say it, but I went to a lecture and I took notes and I learnt from the lecturer, which is frowned upon in the English department here. Not sure why, but it is. What it turns out I should have done is slept off the hangover, wrote a load of silly things down, totally against what they're teaching, and then I'd have got more marks for my original ideas, right? Shit ideas, but more than original. But of course, that is quite ridiculous. That is the equivalent of a maths student going into an exam, being expected to answer complex questions using their own original formulas, because after all, Pythagoras did get there first. You know, there is no such thing as an original idea. Someone's always had it first, and your tutor will have read it. You may think you've got an original idea, but you'll get your essay back all with pen all over it, and they'll have said, well, this looks very familiar to a thing I once heard Derrida whispering to Richardson in a dream. You should have referenced that. And that counts. That genuinely counts, apparently, so you can't win. But if I do get my degree in English, I do at least now know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to get a job, hopefully, writing for Pick Me Up magazine, because that thing is amazing, right? Don't know how many of you have come across Pick Me Up magazine. Basically, it is the magazine equivalent of the Circus Freak Show. I mean, I have no idea where they get these people from their articles. I personally have never met a woman who has eaten her own face, but I have read an article with the headline, "Woman Who Ate Her Own Face," right? And there were pictures, you know, before, during, after. Now, you think, well, why would you take photos of that, right? It's disgusting. But I thought about this long and hard. If I overcame the physical impossibility of eating my own face, I would want pictures to show people, because that's quite impressive. You know, you're at a dinner party with your new flatmates here, they're all talking about their gap years. Oh, I went walking in the Himalayas. Oh, that's nothing. I taught sign language to gorillas in Borneo. Once, I ate my own face. Centre page spread to prove it. What beats that? It is literally the perfect thing, you know? Talking of freaks, I work at Woolworths when I'm back home. That is a magnet for freaks. Straight away you know who the freaks are. They come in the store, spend 2 hours smelling the Worth It soap. It doesn't have a smell. It's 30 pence. It's barely soap. But then they go straight for the shoe polish. They buy like 4 tins. I'm serving to them. I know as soon as they leave the store, they're only going to eat it. They come back 5 minutes later, black around their mouth. You ate that, didn't you? You know, it's ridiculous. I was serving one man at the till, and he said to me, "Are you afraid of illegal immigrants and just all religious stuff like that?" I said, "What? I'm afraid of you? What?" And he said, "Well, you should be. Islam, fastest growing religion in the UK, extremists everywhere." And so, you know, I served him his copy of the Daily Mail. He sent it on his merry way, you know, as you do. But it intrigued me, so I did some research, and Islam is the fastest growing religion in the UK. But if I'm supposed to fear fast-growing religions turning extreme, then I found a very much more worrying fact, actually, in the last census, right? Because there's one religion that grew from no members to having 390,000 followers in 2001, right? Which makes it the 4th largest religion in the UK. Does anyone know what that is? Jedi. Yeah, Jedi, right? Now, if I'm going to fear any bloody extremists, it's going to be Jedi extremists, because we all know what Jedi extremism is, yeah? It's the dark side, yeah? Darth Vader, Darth Maul, all Jedi extremists. None of them very nice guys, are they, really? You know, they can do anything. They've got lightning out the fingers, the Force grip. You could be walking down the street, someone does that, you feel it tightening, what can you do? That's terrorism, right? Forget a makeshift bomb in a backpack, these guys have got laser swords, you know? Some people sit on trains listening for that ticking, I'm listening for emergency stop button right then. You hear these stories about like us hunting these religious extremists in Iraq, Afghanistan. Sometimes we do a surgical strike, kill one of their leaders, we celebrate, that's great. If they were Jedis, we'd be screwed. Because I know for a fact, strike one of them down and they become more powerful than you could possibly imagine. Fact. No. But I can understand the attraction of becoming a Jedi, what with all the Force powers and things like that. All religions would be a lot more interesting if you had some sort of power. You know, take Christianity. I mean, Jesus had his miracles and things, you know, water into wine. That's quite impressive the first time you see it. You know, probably would have got him through the first round of Jerusalem's Got Talent. But, you know, he's not going to beat Lex Luthor with that, not unless he's some sort of alcoholic or whatever. It's not going to work. You know, I think the problem with Jesus, he's too much like a magician, Really? I mean, what, he spent 40 days in the desert, he didn't eat, he was all alone, resisting temptation. Now, the modern day equivalent of that is spending 40 days on your own in a glass case suspended above the Thames, yeah? And we all know he did that, and he's a twat, right? If David Blaine is the second coming of Christ, then I'm sorry, we're all fucked. But yeah. Because, I mean, he should be more like Superman, because Jesus is the Son of God who created everything. Surely he could at least fly, you know, laser eyes, super strength, something like that. I mean, Jesus, in the Justice League, could have fought the devil alongside Wonder Woman, the Green Lantern. I'd have gone to church to hear stories about that, most definitely. Because, you know, Superman is the best superhero ever invented, in my opinion. Anyway, you know, he's got all the coolest powers, and basically, he's invincible. Well, except for those little green rocks that he seems to hate so much, which coincidentally come from his home planet. So one can only imagine, thank God he didn't grow up on Krypton, otherwise he would have been allergic to everything, right? And that's not cool, because I've got hay fever, so I know. That's shit, right? Those little tablets do nothing, he'd have been screwed. I mean, my sneezes are catastrophic at times. God only knows what Superman's would have done. It would have been horrendous. Thankfully, we never have to find that out. But I can remember first time actually I realised I would never grow up to become a superhero. I always wanted to be a superhero, but then one day I realised I wouldn't be. I was dressed in my little Batman costume. I was running around the house. I was pretending my mum was Catwoman, you know, tie her up, as you do. And she got really cross that morning, and she said, "For God's sake, Daniel, you're 19, grow up and untie me." And I realised I wouldn't be a superhero, but I've accepted that now. I shed some tears. I'm not ashamed to say that. But I'm pleased because I've realised I would be the worst superhero in the world, simply because every deliberate attempt I make to help someone backfires horribly. I don't know if you've ever had that experience. I'll just give an example. I could be walking down the street, you know, I see an old lady, she's got shopping bags, she's dropped one, I think, I'm not in a rush, I'll help her. Most old people, thank you very much, most old people think that, you know, us young'uns are yobbish thieving bastards. I'll show her. You know, I go over, pick up the bag she's dropped, at which point she obviously assumes I am a yobbish thieving bastard, maces me in the face, pulls a rape alarm, you know. Before I know it, I'm in a police cell trying to explain what's happened, Pick Me Up magazine running an article under I Heart Granny Fanny. It's not true! You know, all for trying to help. Right, that's pretty much my slot done now, but I just want to leave you with the guys in the audience, especially with some advice I wish someone had given me at this stage last year. Basically, never, right, take relationship advice from the Spice Girls, right? Because no matter how many times they insist it want to be, if you want to be a girl's lover, under no circumstances, get with her friends, right? Because apparently, don't like that, it will only piss her off. I mean, I don't understand, but that is true. You've got your interval coming up next. I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you for being a good audience. Thank you.